What's going on, guys? Car Review Guys here. My name is AJ, and this week we have the 2023 Toyota Supra. This is the 3-liter premium with the manual transmission. Yes, we have had the automatic before, but this is the manual. You guys always know, got a special place in my heart for manual transmissions, especially since we own a manual transmission vehicle. We own automatics too, but obviously love the manual. So without further ado, let's jump into some of the stats with the exterior, then go to the interior, then we're going to take her on a drive, which is where this vehicle shines. Let's roll. Underneath the hood of this 2023, which is no different from a 2022 or 4, you are looking at a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder producing 382 horsepower, and this one is paired to a 6-speed manual transmission. Powertrain only comes in rear-wheel drive, and the curb weight is just under 3,400 pounds, which pushes this manual Supra in 0 to 60 in about 4.3 seconds. That is a little bit slower than the automatic, but that's just really shift times, to be honest. We could get into gearing ratios and everything else, but let's just be honest. It's really more than likely just shift times. Your pricing is starting at around $45,000 for the base 2-liter, going up to around $64,000, which is new for the 2024, and that is on the 45th anniversary edition, which obviously is not in front of us because this is a 2023. So that is really going to be your only difference from a 2023 to a 2024, and that is the available 45th anniversary. Our tester today comes in at $58,365. Now, the overall length of the Supra, if we step back here, is 14.4 feet. And looking straight on from the rear, your overall width is around 6 feet 1 inches wide. The fuel door is on the passenger side, and well, it's hard to miss because it is rather large. And it is a 13.7 gallon tank, 19 city, 27 highway, and a combined average of 21 mpgs. Assuming you were on the freeway, your max range for one tank, you are looking at 369 miles. All right, let's take a look at this. So obviously you have the signature runners, which look really good. Really, honestly, there's nothing too much has changed on the exteriors. There's not too much we really need to go through. I went through everything on the automatic version of this vehicle, but we'll touch on it very quickly. So you have LED headlamps with the runner. Again, looks really good. Super signature look coming down the road, especially if you come straight in front of it. You can see why that's such a signature look. Looks really good. Now, coming on around, you do have the nice red calipers. Love that. That looks really good as well. And then in the front for a tire, you're going to be looking at a 255 35 19. And if we come on to the back, The backs are paired with a 275/35/19. Overall, I do love the design of it, even though this vent right here on the door, for those of you that don't know, is fake. It actually does, it just gives it some texture, and it really helps it flow into this big hump right here, and that is such a signature look, especially looking in your mirror, being able to see that. I really do enjoy it. Now, coming back to the rear, you have LED tail lamps, dual exhaust, and of course you have the GR badging on there because this is the 3-liter. And the one thing that is still strange, crazy to me on the 2023 that they have not changed yet, there's still no trunk button from the rear. Like, to me, that is so crazy. Like, there's nothing under here. I know you guys are saying, well, there should be one underneath there. There's not. There is no button from the rear. So you have to get the key out of your pocket and press the button in order to open it. So, good time to look at the key. Taking a look at it here. Got a little red on there, shows Toyota. Really light as well, which is good. Just simply hold it, pops up. Pull it up. It is on hydraulics. And this is the space that you have. Obviously, not a ton of space, but certainly enough space to fit maybe a suitcase, maybe 2. Just for like a long weekend or something like that. It does not fit a golf bag. I have tried that. That does not work very well in the Supra. The only way even possible is potentially like diagonaling it, and it is not, yeah, not ideal. But nonetheless, I don't think that's what this is for. Certainly, in my opinion, not what it's for. Now, the one thing that is nice on the Supra is you have these little grab handles, so you do not have to touch your paint if it is nice and clean, and it shuts very easy, which is nice. And as we step inside, you do have keyless entry. To unlock it, you just simply press on the inside. In order to lock it, you have a button right there. For those of you that are new to my channel, I test getting in every single vehicle to let you know whether I think it's easy or not. And I try to keep everyone in mind, whether you have back problems, whether you don't, you know, I try to give that feedback. So this vehicle, obviously, fairly low to the ground, not like my NSX that I own, but it is low to the ground. And yeah, it's not the most ideal. I've already been in this car, but I will show you. I'm 5'9", if I have not already said that. Come down, sitting in, back, and you're good. And then you gotta kind of adjust just a little bit, shift around, and then you're good. And then you're in. And then there's actually a lot of headspace. Like, I have a hat on, so there's probably an inch between my head and the hat, to be totally honest. And there's probably 2 inches up there, maybe, somewhere in there. And you could still lean back, you can take the seat back. Like, there's a lot of room still. So, very impressed with the room once you get in it. Checking out the door panel, it does look pretty nice. This is all soft touch here. Down here is all hard plastic. Coming up, there is some give to this. It's not totally hard, so it's kind of like a rubberized almost type deal up there. And then this is kind of nice because it's not just straight piano black. There's actually some like metallic in it. I'm not sure if you can see right now with the sun hitting it. But yeah, it looks good. You have your speakers, which is JBL, as you can see up there. And then you do have a trunk button right down there. And this pocket is good for about a wallet. That's about all you're gonna fit in that pocket. And then taking a look at the buttons for all of the headlamps, you're gonna say, wow, it's a BMW. And yes, it was co-designed, engineered with BMW. It was a joint project, so that kind of makes sense. We have some BMW buttons in here. And that brings me out to the digital display in front of us. And again, it gives you some BMW vibes, but it's also Toyota. Like, it's not just straight BMW. So it's kind of cool to see the mix. Same thing with the screen in the middle. Hopefully you can see. I'm sure it's going to have some waves through it because of the frequency. But nonetheless, that is definitely more BMW. You're not going to see that in any other Toyota. And then down here, because this is the manual, obviously, you can't really tell it's necessarily a BMW anymore. The automatic you can tell because the shifter is identical. And then this over here is all BMW basically design. But look at how beautiful that carbon fiber is. I mean, it is gorgeous. I love the detail that they put in here. Up in front of us, we do have a heads-up display, which is great to have. Checking in the rear view mirror, you can probably see, except for the camera kind of being in the way, obviously, but you have pretty good visibility in this thing overall. And see, those are the humps I was talking about in the mirror, definitely signature to look at. even in that mirror. Obviously, you do have a blind spot checking over to your right, as you can see there, but you do have blind spot monitoring in this vehicle. The seats also you can tell they're co-designed with BMW, and they look really good. They feel good. They're very supportive. Yeah, I really like them. And down below, we do have a wireless phone charger as well, and that is pretty much going to wrap up the interior. Obviously, the steering wheel, pretty straightforward. Cruise control items on your left. And then over on the right is everything else as far as media goes. Now, let's check out this manual transmission, just going through the gears here. So there's first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. And then go over all the way, reverse, and then right there is your backup camera, which is pretty clear. I love how crystal clear that is. It looks good. I do wish there was a 360 camera on this though, or at least just that front bumper camera, because obviously the hood is kind of long, but nonetheless, that is just one thing that they could potentially improve upon, but not a big deal. You guys know what time it is. You know what time it is. It's time to get this thing on the road and get through the gears on this manual transmission. So with this being a manual transmission, the first thing that I will talk about, so let's put it in first gear. We're on a flat level surface right now, and I am going to simply just let the clutch out slowly. I'm out about 2 inches and we're already rolling. Let it out all the way, no gas, no nothing, and we're good. Like, it's fully engaged. So you don't even, it's a great vehicle, honestly, to kind of learn stick on if you're in that scenario. Like if you're looking to buy a stick and like something that's easy to drive, this one's very easy because you don't have to add throttle even in the slightest. Some vehicles like 4 cylinders and stuff, you have to add just a little bit of throttle. This one does not. It has enough power and torque that it just, you let that clutch out, you're rolling. So that's great. This vehicle also does have rev matching, so good for a beginner as well. And I will explain that. As soon as I shift, it goes right in. So let's do just a little bit of an acceleration, nothing crazy. We are not in sport mode. Like that's 30 already, that fast. Now I just let off. Now let's slow down. We'll go 30 to 60, go. 60. So 60, you can hit it in second gear. Second gear is 60. Makes sense that they have the gearing set that way, so that way they can get a fairly quick 0 to 60, and you can feel it. I mean, this thing is no joke. And putting it in sport, you're going to start getting some burbles. I don't know if they'll turn out for you guys. Hold on, I'm going to try to get them for you though, because they do. They sound incredible. Like, the sounds this car makes is just, oh, I love it. All right, let me see if I can get them. Hold on. Hear it? Oh, I hope you guys can hear that. Man, it sounds good. Absolutely love that. And the gears, they're medium. They're not crazy short by any stretch, but they're not long either. So I think it's certainly appropriate for this car. Like, it really is making this car for me. Like, I did like the automatic. I really did. I thought they did an amazing job. But man, I always said, like my buddy James Stradman, when he first got the Supra, like when it first came out for the Mark V, he brought it down to Kentucky, for some of you that watch and know, and it was nice, but I was like, it's missing a manual transmission. That's what it's missing. And I think when Toyota finally launched it, they didn't think that it was honestly going to sell that well. And from my understanding, for 2023, over 50% have been manual transmission in sales. Now, let's talk about ride quality here. Obviously, suspension is on the stiff side. That's no surprise. That's what you would want in a Supra. It's sporty. As far as road noise goes, there is some road noise. It's not all that quiet. I find myself talking a little bit louder just because of the tires in this. As far as like wind noise goes, here comes a truck. You can barely hear it. So as far as wind noise goes, there's not any issues there. A lot of vehicles that have windows that go up against, like to where they don't have a frame on the door, A lot of times you get wind noise. Like even my NSX had wind noise and it was so annoying, and this vehicle does not at all. It just has a little bit of road noise from the tires. So depending on the tire, you could probably honestly quiet this vehicle down a good bit, would be my guess. Already kind of touched on visibility, but you do have blind spot monitoring. Over to the right, you do have a little bit of a blind spot. Over to the left, totally fine. You can see really good, no blind spot. And as small as this vehicle is, it doesn't feel tight. Like, and don't get me wrong, I really like the Miata, like, and that's not really what you would compare this to necessarily, but from a small vehicle standpoint, right? The Miata did feel just tight and small. Like inside the cabin, like it was tight, but I'm only 5'9", so it doesn't bother me that bad. But you could be bigger in this. I would say up to like 6'4", 6'5", and probably be pretty comfortable. Like even like width-wise, like you would be fine. So there is a good bit of room in the Supra as far as like sitting space. Storage space, not as much. You have enough for, you know, a road trip or whatever. Suspension, here we go. Oh, it's good, it's good. Let's go down to second gear here and let's just, yeah. Little gear shift, back into second, into third, fourth. Oh yeah. It's so good. It's so good. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are considering a manual transmission Supra, might I add, I would go test drive one, only if you're willing to get it, because you're probably going to buy it. Not going to lie. That is so fun. Man, they outdid themselves with the manual. Now, as far as the actual transmission goes, when you're in sport mode and you don't have rev matching on, it is tricky. Like trying to get from third to second gear for whatever reason, could just be me, but I do drive a lot of manual transmission. I've owned a lot of manual transmissions, including a C7 Z06. I have my 15 1LE. I've had like 3 or 4 other Corvettes. What else have I had? My wife had a Chevy Cruze that was a manual. Like, we've had a lot of manuals. Long story short, going from third gear to second gear in this thing, it is like impossible to get to it. I don't know why, but it's easy when you're rev matching. It'll just fall. You don't even have to fight it or anything. It just goes there. So could be something that as you own it, you obviously get used to it, but just like right off the get, if you go to test it, you might be like, I'm having troubles getting there. So first to second's easy, but then third to second, downshifting, it's a little tough. It's not that easy whenever you're not in rev matching. Yeah, so suspension as far as turning left and right, really good, love it. Obviously it's on the stiffer side, it's already stated as far as bumps go. Totally expected. Love the heads-up display. It's great to have out in front of us. And again, visibility overall is good, except for over to the right, but you do have blind spot monitoring. Like, this vehicle has plenty of power. Like, almost too much if you're just learning how to really control a car. Like, if this is your first track vehicle, it's going to be a lot to handle. I'm not going to lie to you. It is. And you're going to have some people that think they know how to drive, and they're going to comment down below, and they're going to be like, that ain't nothing. I got a 700-800 horsepower car. Fine, bro. Fine. I mean, I had a C7 Z06, and anyone that is even track professionals will tell you that a C7 Z06 is almost too much power on a road course. It just... You got to learn how to really balance and throw a car around, and this vehicle is going to be on the higher side, but not impossible. That's the thing. This vehicle is not impossible. Like, it is still very, very fun, and you can still learn how to do it. Just stay within your limits, right? Because this car is fast. I mean, it's fast. That is all there is to this vehicle. It is fast. Overall, if you're looking for a vehicle that, you know, if you don't live crazy in the city and you have just a little bit of a drive, a manual transmission, 100% way to go. No question. You're getting pretty good gas mileage for how much power this vehicle has. Obviously, yes, it's smaller, more aerodynamic, but still good gas mileage for what it is. And especially like a, you know, road trip car, not like across the country, but like a long weekend type deal where you and the wife or whatever, you just put 2 suitcases in there, have a fun car to play with, stylish, looks good, has everything, Bluetooth, you know, all the stuff that you would want. Like, it's an amazing car, and I cannot say enough good things about this manual transmission. Again, feels a little bit strange going through the gears, but overall, like, man, it makes this car. I love this car. It is fun. It genuinely is fun with the manual transmission. Thank you, Toyota, for throwing a manual transmission in, because you have really outdone yourselves putting this in here. All right, guys, if you liked it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. It really does help me on the algorithm, and we are on our road to 20,000 subscribers. We're over 18,000 now, and I appreciate every single one of you guys. It means the world to me. If you guys wouldn't mind joining the journey, I appreciate it. If not, no big deal. And if you guys want to see the automatic Supra, I have the 2022. Link is down below as well. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.